One of the big stories of this year is going to go down is sort of what's been going on with global trade.
Yep.
We know the U.S. and Chinese are supposed to meet and talk again. But at the end of the day, the global trade system has been fractured, or at least been disrupted in a way. And I wonder, do you see that even if there is an agreement between the U.S. and China, a meaningful one, do we go back to what we had in 2015, 2016, or are we just now in some sort of new phase of how the global trade system is going to look?
That's a great question. I think we're in a new phase.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the United States and China, if the will is there, and that's a question mark, can settle up on some issues.
I thought the out was 21.
For sure. They're pretty obvious. On the Chinese side, some things that are particularly problematic.
Mm-hmm.
On the American and their trading partner side. And so on. So they can settle up on that. But the new game in town is technology.
Yeah.
And those frictions are not going to go away, and they're not easy to resolve. And so I think the new world we're going to live in that gets reconstructed over time,
mm-hmm.
maybe sloppily or maybe a little more alertly, is going to be one that has more fragmentation in it.
But what does that mean, though, for some of these large multinational corporations? I mean, when you look at a lot of the financial markets, the equity markets I'm talking about, you have so many companies, particularly in the U.S. and in developed Europe, that are centered around having a cohesive global trading system. And if we get to a situation where companies are restricted in how they can do business with China, how they can do business with whoever else, how do those companies adjust to that? Is that even possible?
Yes, it is. I mean, the ones that will succeed are the ones that are agile and fleet of foot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's an example of this that's going on right now. The trade war has accelerated the migration of labor-intensive stuff out of China into a whole bunch of other countries, and there are multinationals getting that job done. So the best of them are really adaptable, and so if they get blocked here, they'll find another way. But the old global supply chains won't look the same as the ones we had before.
Professor, what's a real economic win for the United States out of this?
On the trade side?
Yeah.
I think a win would be an agreement from China that they will abide by the WTO rules that we want them to abide by in respect to market access, particularly in the financial sector, and intellectual property and so on, and make a serious effort not to subsidize their state-owned enterprises so that they have an unfair advantage in the marketplace. I think those things are negotiable, Guy, and that would move the ball down the field, not settle everything, but help.